Hey, what's up, guys? Steve with SCPA Weather Forecast. Saturday evening, 6 p. This will be the final model analysis of this storm, unless something drastically changes. But I just want to go over some details so that you can see the major discrepancies that us as forecasters are dealing with. And for the most part, most models have come into my agreement, which I'm saying that some areas are probably going to get 20 to 30 inches. But we also have some shorter range modeling that is saying, take about 12 to 20 inches off that number. So there are major discrepancies still. And normally what your news stations, what your National Weather Service is going to do is they're going to prepare you. And then as we get closer to the storm, they're going to say, oh, well, the storm either did this or did that. And here's the reason why we're upping totals from 8 to 12 to 12 to 20. And then by the time there's already 30 inches of snow on the ground in some places possibly, they then make the announcement that they're now upping totals again. So my job is to, as I say, cut through the BS and tell you what can possibly happen, why it could happen, why I feel it may happen, and why I feel it may not happen. But in this case, I've been saying all along that this is a South Central Pennsylvania special. I still think that is the case. As long as that storm does not get above too much further north of Ocean City, Maryland, I think we're game on for what could be, when this is all said and done, a historic, I'm going to use that word, historic storm. There's been a couple of them in this area of 30 plus inches. Most recently was in just 5 years ago, 2016, January 2016. So let's cut right to the chase. This is the new GFS model. Again, I'm looking at another screen, so bear with me. If you smoke cigars, this is a La Palina Mr. Sam. Pretty good, mild, not too wild. Decent stick so far. I've had it before. First time I had it, I enjoyed it a lot more, but I'm more of a full-bodied smoker now. I like more of a bolder cigar. So let's get into it. Latest GFS, fresh off the press, Global Forecast System, American model. Tomorrow, 7 a.m. Here comes the snow. Light to start, light throughout the course of the day, light in the afternoon. However, it's going to be higher ratio snows, real powdery fine stuff, so it may accumulate more quickly than what the models are showing. So you'll notice there, it's Sunday afternoon, some darker blues show up, and then what happens is that this is really a two-part system. And where those two parts basically combine is where you're going to get the heavy snow, which is what I've been saying all along. So basically the system from the west is decaying. It's going to transfer its energy to the coastal low. And if that is off, if these models are off on any of this, it's going to put a huge monkey wrench in the plans. And these are very tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. So you have to be cautious, but you also have to be cautious in the other direction, that the modeling is underdoing something. So as the transfer begins to occur, this is tomorrow night. I mean, the transfer is not occurring yet, but it's the process. Transfers take a couple hours to do. So you notice that the snow kind of like decays a little bit, gets light. And then you'll even start to notice this showing up, this pink, which is a mix. That's very important as well, because the next two models I'm going to show you, which are the NAM models, which have the least amount of snow, are showing significant mixing getting into South Central PA up to about Harrisburg. And that could throw a monkey wrench in the plans as well. But you'll notice as we go along, some light, and look how close that rain line's even getting. 1 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And then here's where things really start to take off. You got 999 low pressure off the coast of Hatteras. We'll go 3 hours later, 998. See how close that mix line is. This GFS model is started. It was showing this to begin with, has backed off, and now is back to showing it. So we do have to keep an eye on that. But the saying goes, you got to smell the sleet in order to be in the meat of the storm. Got to smell the sleet. It means it's got to be very close. 3 hours later, so these are 3-hour increments. That right there is heavy snow. 997 right off the coast of basically Assateague. I mean, a couple hundred or 100 or so miles out there, whatever that would be, 150 miles. But parallel to Assateague, which is south of Ocean City, Maryland. That's my big key here. If it stays south of Ocean City, we don't usher in enough warm air aloft, and that means that we get more snow. So we are at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And just watch this. This is textbook. 994 low. Remember 2 days ago we were at like a 998, 996? I said, hey, drop millibars 2 degrees one way or another. It makes a big difference. We're now down to 994, and I think that is even still too weak of a storm. We'll see what this. I haven't even looked at this yet. Now down to 993, heavy snow. 993, moderate snow. This is at 7 o'clock on Tuesday night. So it started snowing tomorrow morning, albeit light, but it's 7 o'clock on Monday night, and it's still snowing. So that's we're already at probably 36 hours. Go 3 hours. Here's where this deformation band sets up right here. Basically, what's going to happen is that the storm is not going to move this way. It may even move this way or even back this way. And as it does, what's going to happen is all this precipitation is just going to pivot. Normally when storms come, they come, move right out, and then you see the back line and it's moving out. This, you're actually going to see it on radar moving from north to south and actually moving in from east to west. That is what's known as the calm ahead of the storm. It's going to pivot. So if you get stuck in that deformation band, it may take hours upon hours to get out of it, and it could dump a lot of snow. And these models really aren't good at predicting deformation bands 40 hours out. So that's going to be a nowcast kind of event that we're going to have to keep an eye on. But so we're at 10 o'clock. And then we're down to 990. I don't know if I believe that. If we're at a 990, there should be some heavier precip back here. But I haven't looked at the upper level charts. This might mean that it's on its way to fizzle out. And if that's the case, then this starts to break up. But you still got some light snow, 989, 4 o'clock in the morning Tuesday. Light snow, 7 o'clock in the morning Tuesday. Light snow. And GFS is saying it's finally getting out of here between 8 and 1 on Tuesday. Let's go and look at the European from this afternoon. See what we got. So we're at the same timestamp. This is 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. European still showing a 988 low. So our low pressure system is getting stronger. But let's go to tomorrow morning, show you the same thing. This is 10 o'clock. We're going to go 3 hours. So there's one. You'll notice some light snow. Gets a little bit heavier as we get towards Sunday evening. So about 6 hours of moderate snow. And then once again fizzles out. Notice the European starting to show this as well. This rain line also isn't that far off. This is right here something I haven't talked about yet. Dry slot. We're going to have to watch that closely because that could really, really, really screw somebody on these snow totals. You could have 20 inches forecasted in an area. That dry slot gets in there. Game over. More like 6 to 8. Tricky, tricky, tricky. These storms are a pain in the ass. So showing this. This right here is a dry tongue. But what should happen is this should fill in once this takes over. So let's see. I haven't looked at any of these models really. I just looked at the snow outputs. So I haven't looked at any of the, which is known as like the QPF and the precipitation, which is what you're looking at. So Euro showing this dry slot creeping up here. That's Eastern York County, Lancaster County. That's sleet. I don't like the looks of that. And then all of a sudden, so let's see here. In the 3 hour period, I still think they're having problems. These models are having problems because if you notice this low pressure is like right here, and then all of a sudden jumps like here. So there's still some problems with the models. I'm not going to lie. But 999 at 10 o'clock in the morning on Monday, and it should just rock in here. So let's see what happens going forward. There we go. There's some darker blues. 996. So in 3 hours, it's jumping here. So it was here, here, here. Let's see, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That's heavy, heavy snow. 994. That's a good low pressure. Still south of Ocean City, Maryland. Still getting the fetch off the Atlantic. Moderate snow. That's 7 o'clock at night. Moderate snow, 10 o'clock at night on Monday. Moderate to light snow, 1 o'clock in the morning. Start to notice it's now getting north of Ocean City. It's in Delaware. It's getting north of Ocean City at a 990. So it's going to begin to shut off here. All right. So let's go to the Canadian model. And then I want to show some of these short range models. So Canadian. Hope everybody's enjoying their Saturday. We had a pretty good day. We went to breakfast over in Lancaster, I should say brunch. And then we went to Lancaster Market, and I do apologize. This is scrolling. I don't know why. Technology, you love it and you hate it. Let me get in here. And then we went to Lancaster Market, and then we went to a cigar bar out there, myself and my wife. And now we're back here, back at home. All right, so multi-parameter. Let's see what this has to offer. Precip. Let's go ahead. All right, Monday morning, 7 o'clock. So every 3 hours. Canadian's basically a very light event on on Sunday. Literally, maybe an inch or two of snow is what this is saying. Even to Sunday night, nothing. That's light snow, but it's going to be higher ratio snow. So it's going to accumulate quick too. Then all of a sudden, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, Sunday night, you start getting this. Also got the mix showing up here. Got your heavier bands. We're at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday. 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday. The low pressure is a little bit weaker than what it has been on the other models. Let's see how this pans out. 999 off the coast of the southern tip of Assateague, or the Chincoteague, I should say. There's a deformation band setting up. That's heavy snow, very heavy snow. Let's see how this rides out now. 996. Heavy snow. Heavy snow. Heavy snow. Moderate to heavy snow. That's 1 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. 4 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday. Still not north of Ocean City. 989. So it's in line with the other models. It just takes a little bit longer to get there. You're getting this tongue right here, this deformation tongue. Snow's just going to keep coming down if this model's right. And then finally by 10 o'clock in the morning, starts to back off. And then finally it's out of here. Well, actually, no, that's holding some snow around. So that's more like flurry snow shower type of stuff. Actually, it's keeping snow around to Tuesday night. But it wouldn't be crazy accumulating snow. Look at that. Still 10 o'clock at night on Tuesday, still showing light snow. Crazy. This storm happens to get stuck, which is a possibility. Stall, that means, okay? Stall for a period of time. As a block to the north. It's like a traffic. All right, you're going up a highway, and all of a sudden, what would normally take you a half hour to get to is now going to take you 3 hours to get to because you got bumper-to-bumper traffic. That's the same exact scenario that's going on here. You have a traffic jam in what's known as the North Atlantic, which is not allowing this storm to easily exit off the coast and away. So if by chance it were to happen and get stalled down here, game over with, lights out. It's a lights out snowstorm for our area. I still think it's going to be a good snowstorm. Let's go to the good news first, if you like snow, and then we'll go to the bad news. I want to show you, these are fresh off the press Canadian short range. Now, as we get closer to the event, the short range models are going to start to pick up better in many cases than the global models. But we're still 36 hours from the main event. The snow starts tomorrow. That's just bonus stuff. The main event really isn't until Monday morning. But let's just see. I want to show you. I did look at this. Actually, no, I didn't. I looked at the snow output for this, and that's what I've been posting on Facebook. But if this model is right, this area is going to be shut down for almost a full week. Let's see what we got here. So this is 1 hour increments. So this is the Canadian short range. One of the short range, it has 2 short ranges. So we're showing, once again, light snow. Basically not anything that's all impressive. But still going to be snowing, still going to get you in the mood, still going to be accumulating. You're still going to have some slippery spots tomorrow. So this is tomorrow afternoon. Nothing crazy from what this is showing. You start to notice that you get some darkers pop up here. And that's as this transfer takes place. You're going to start to fill this area in. And then we watch for the turn and pivot. So this is 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Let's roll forward. You'll notice that even this is starting to show this mix. And here comes the transfer is almost complete. Transfer is complete. And here we go. We should rock and roll. So let's see. This is 6 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning. Hour increments. See that band of heavy snow that's just sitting over South Central PA, York, Adams, Lanco. Now, we're not going to know the exact position of that this far out. So this is really a situation where one area can have 20, 30 inches of snow. 15, 20 miles west or east can have 6 to 10 because there's these areas where you get banding, and that's where you have a high concentration of air being forced upwards. It's called upward motion. Where you have upward motion, you also have sinking motion. Where you have sinking motion, you also have drying air. So what goes up must come down. It's tricky. Very. But just watch this thing. As I said, I saw the model output for snow, so I'm just like envisioning. You're just seeing this thing just sit there and spin. It's not, we're talking 5 o'clock on Monday afternoon. See this showing up right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That right there is like, that's like 3, 4 hour an inch type of stuff. That dark blue. Now this is south of us. Say that this is right over central York County. I don't know if it's going to be. I have no idea. But just watch this thing. We're here 9 o'clock on Monday night, and this thing is this is basically sitting, it's stalled. This is heavy, heavy snow going on, and it's slowly creeping north. And we're out to 7 o'clock on Tuesday morning. You notice some moderate heavy snow still over South Central PA. This right here would be a shutdown blizzard. See how it just keeps it there. And it keeps developing it and pulsing on that deformation band, whatever you want to say. I say tomato, you say tomato. So that's that. And then we're going to go to its, which one was this? This was the 10 kilometer. So this other one is the Mio scale model, but this only goes out to 48 hours. So it stops at 1 o'clock on Monday. But for the most part, I'll go backwards here. It's showing the same thing. Light to moderate snow on and off throughout the day tomorrow. The heaviest snow not really showing up until Monday morning, and then continuing basically until Monday night. All right, and now I want to show you the bad news. Where there's good news, there's always bad news. The NAM 12K, which is part of the GFS model, American model suit, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here what we got. I really haven't looked at this all that much. But we got tomorrow morning, 7 a.m., 10. These are 3-hour increments. Light snow on and off Virga. Really nothing too much. It's going to be snowing, though. By 7 o'clock, some heavier to moderate snow. Heavy, moderate snow at 10 p.m. And then look at this. NAM is saying this mix here, sleet's mixing in. If this is correct, it's a snow total killer. You could have forecasted 16 inches, and you'll only get 8. Now watch how long this sticks around. We're here where the brunt of the storm is supposed to be going on. Now, if you notice, all other modeling at this point in time, 7 o'clock in the morning on Monday, was basically showing the storm tucked in here. The NAM has it all the way out here. I will be honest with you. The NAM has been doing a horrible job. Okay? Where other models this past winter have been forecasting according to an inch, the NAM has been showing 8 to 12 inches. You got to know when to agree with it and when to dismiss it. For the time being, I'm dismissing this. However, what this is showing is a late phase. Showing a late phase. The storm's already north of Ocean City. This would be snowstorm over with. Basically, Monday, cloudy, on and off flurries and snow showers. See where this is concentrating its snow? Now, people up in New England love this this model run here because they want the snow. Right now, New England really isn't. I mean, they're going to get snow, but I've always been saying it's the South Central PA special. And we're going to go to the NAM MEO scale short range model. Pardon that. I got people texting me. And you would expect that this is probably going to be in line with so we're looking at light to moderate snow, and then once again, light snow. Here comes the mix line. So we're at 5 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. This low is here. What confuses me is that I think the model's having problems. This is where the low should be right there, right where my pointer's at. And I just don't, I'm not buying this yet. But this would be Monday morning, sleet, freezing rain. And basically, so if you're a snow lover, let me start with the bad news first. And I'm just going to use these Kuchera models. I'm not even going to use the normal snow ratios because I think that we're going to have higher snow ratios. So the Kuchera says blockbuster storm, Long Island, northern New Jersey. York Adams, particularly southern York, southern Adams, 7 to 10 inches of snow. A lot of sleet. It's almost 0.2. So this area right in here would be almost a half an inch of sleet. Sleet sucks. And even freezing rain. So let's go to its 12K version. Not so gung-ho on the freezing rain in York County. It stays south of the Mason-Dixon line for the most part. Is showing a lot of sleet. Widespread, almost a half an inch of sleet. That's 0.4 in Thomasville, 0.4 Harrisburg Airport. That would cut down If that were not to be sleet, half an inch of sleet would probably be about an additional 6 inches of snow, 4 to 6 inches of snow. That's how much it cuts down. And then snowfall. Showing about a 10-inch snowstorm with a half an inch of sleet and very limited freezing rain. Now that's with a late phasing storm. I said I don't think that this is right. It's either onto something or it's an outlier right now, and we're not going to know that until probably tomorrow morning. But if it's onto something, well, then my forecast is going to be wrong. If it's an outlier, I don't want to say my forecast is going to be wrong. It's just going to have to be adjusted. If it's an outlier, then we're still game on. All right, let's go to these Canadian short ranges, because these are pumping snow. Now let's just go to the MEO scale one, which only goes out to Monday at 1 o'clock. This model saying Monday 1 o'clock, there's already 13 to 15 inches of snow. South Central PA. You ready for this? The Canadian 10K. Saying by Monday, and actually this isn't the Kuchera. Actually, yes, it is. Okay, sorry. This is the one that factors in the higher ratios. So this is saying by Monday, 1 o'clock, 18 inches of snow. Are you ready? Remember, this was the one I did 3 ago that I just said it kept basically sitting and spinning. The storm really never got north of Ocean City, Maryland. Well, let's just cut to the drama. Can we rule it out? No, we can't. And I'll tell you why. But I don't know if you can see this down here. Max 51.5 inches of snow. That is right here where you see these dark purples, or whatever color that is. That's somewhere from, that's the I-83 corridor of York County. 51.5 inches of snow. Am I saying there's going to be 51.5 inches of snow? No, I'm not. Is it possible? Yes, it is. And how it's possible is that storm gets stuck, and it does exactly what that model just showed it was going to do. And we've had storms that have been in the mid-30s, 30 inches. So Morgantown, right outside Bucks County, had a storm that had 52 inches of snow one time. So this stuff is possible. It's happened before, and it will happen again. History is meant to be broken and repeat. Records are meant to be broken. History is made to repeat. We're going to have to keep an eye on this stuff. Let's go here to the global models. We'll go to the Icon, which is the German model. This has been shifting its heaviest band up here. Earlier today and last night, it was down here. But this is showing York proper 7 to, or I should say 8 to 12 inches. The Canadian model, which is the big mother of the smaller Canadian models that I also showed you. This has been going gangbusters. This is what set this whole process off last night. But we're talking max 37.1 inches, somewhere in this area right here. York, Lancaster, Lebanon, Berks, Dauphin, those counties. Is it right? Can't guarantee it 100% right now, but it needs to be taken into account, because when you look at the GFS, which has been also been consistent, you got shown here 20 to 25 inches of snow, or I should say 22. So is there a major difference between 22 and 51? Of course there is. I'll tell you what, when you get in within 24 hours to 40 hours, that Canadian model is really good. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that and see what it's up to. And then finally, we'll go to the European model. 14, 15. The ensembles, which are the group runs of the models, are also pretty consistent. So here's some things that I can tell you. We're pretty sure that we're at least going to have 8 to 12 inches of snow in South Central PA proper. If the dry slot gets involved and there is sleet, then that is the max amount that we will see in South Central PA proper. If no dry slot and no sleet, then yes, upwards of what my map shows is I think it's 12 to 20 inches is possible without any problems whatsoever. As you just saw, there's a lot of modeling that is already showing that. If the storm stalls and the phase is proper and perfect, like the two Canadian models are showing, it's an all-out blizzard. It's shut down. We'll know more about that tomorrow. But even then, because where that band sets up, you get a situation, as I said, west of 83 could be snowing like crazy, putting down 2, 3, 4 inches an hour. And East York, Wrightsville area, nothing, because you have sinking air. Way too many factors to get involved to try to explain to you how that works out. And quite frankly, way above my pay grade. Only the big man above really knows all that stuff, where it sets up exactly. But that's why forecasting snow is so tricky. Now, if this was a rainstorm, there's really not a big difference between 3 inches and 2 inches of rain. But there is a huge difference between 15 inches and 30 inches of snow. Huge difference. Huge. So that's where we stand. Continue to keep an eye on it. Hope you're enjoying everything. As I said, try to be educational and informative, show you what goes into all this stuff, the stuff that you just don't see with the people on the TV. And please share, like, and subscribe. Have yourself an awesome day. Or I should say awesome night. It's already 6:45.